Then the Chazon Ish continues, and he says something that is really a reality that I've seen one too many times, but unfortunately it's a reality that is more apparent in this generation, I believe, than other generations. What is it? Losers. Who are the losers? I'm not talking about the losers that don't fulfill anything in the Torah, and therefore they're going to end up losing their Olam Haba. Surely they are losers. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about somebody else's losers. Losers that everybody agrees are losers. Even themselves. Who? He says, blaming one's fellow man for all of one's problems and seeing him as the cause for one's lack of success when this fellow Jew is innocent according to the laws of the Torah is falling into a trap of lack of faith in Hashem's providence. Ktanut Emunah. Rabotai, have you ever met a person, doesn't matter their income, doesn't matter their career, doesn't matter their age, but no matter when you see them, they're always complaining about some form of tragedy that's happening to them. Hey, how you doing? Don't ask. Okay, I won't ask. No, I'm going to tell you anyway, since you already asked. Oh, what happened? No, my wife, she did da. Okay. So that's why your face looks like it's a tragedy, because your wife, okay, fine, all right. 2 months pass, you run into that person again. Hey, how you doing? Kind of looks sad, but you want to say how you doing because it's polite to say how you doing. Hey, how you doing? Don't ask. What happened? Somebody just ran into me, wrecked my whole car. Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. Okay, all right. 2 months later, hey, how you doing? Don't ask. What happened? The construction company I hired to remodel my house, they just this, they just did that. Every single time. How you doing? I just sold the stock too early. Just this happened. Every day, some type of problem never escapes them. And it's always somebody else did this to them, somebody else crashed into them, somebody else bounced the check on them, somebody else did this, and that's why they're not succeeding in life. That's why they're miserable. That's why they look like there's a death in the family practically every single day. Their wife, their kid, their job, the way to work, the way back from work, the vacation sucks, the food is terrible, this, that, the whole world is terrible. Those are the losers of the world. And all of us know at least one of them. Baruch Hashem, I have the merit to know a few, because I deal with a lot of people. But those are the losers of the world. Blame the world for all of their problems, to the extent where they blame everyone for their failures. They cannot make it in life. They cannot become successful in anything. Why? Because look at what everybody else is doing to me. My wife did this to me. My husband did this to me. My kid did this to me. My cousin did this to me. My father did this to me. I even know somebody that tells me, listen, I don't know, I can't do it. Why can't you get a normal job? You're 45, 50 years old already. You're still working as a bartender like you're in high school. Get a regular job, Habibi. No, I can't. Why? Listen, I can't. I just didn't grow up that way. What do you mean you didn't grow up that way? I don't know. Listen, when I grew up, I didn't have the regular parents, didn't educate me the right way. Fine, I understand not having the right parenting is tough. I get it. I even know somebody, a really good friend of mine, he lost his father. Fine. I know other people lost their mother. I know some people that were orphans. But they weren't still bartenders at 50 years old. Get a regular job. Go work for some kind. No, I can't. Why not? What does it have to do with somebody dying 45 years ago? I can't do it. Why can't you do it? I can't do it. They don't have a real reason. Why can't you settle down? I don't know. I can't do it. Why not? I can't do it. Because why? Because I had a relationship when I was... What do you mean? That relationship? You were 16 years old. You're 50. You're still single. You're going to clubs every weekend looking for the right one. Get a hold of yourself. You're a few minutes from dying already of old age. Many people are like that. Those are the losers of the world. Simply can't get ahead because of their excuses that everyone around them is at fault for their failures. He can't succeed in life with a job. He can't succeed in life to find a wife. She can't succeed in finding a husband. She's already in menopause, still hasn't found the right one. He can't succeed in getting a job. He's still delivering newspapers at 60 years old. Reality is they're losers. Why? Because they can't get out of their own way. Why can't they get out of their own way? Because they think that their fortune is decided by people. Meaning that their lack of belief in Hashem is the reason for their failure, nothing else. But some of those people could very well be religious. They could go to shul, they could pray, they could even learn some Torah. But when it comes to Emunah, comes the Chazon Ish and says, "Unilkad be'avon katnut ha'emunah ube'ashgachato yitbarach." He's captured by the sin, the avon, of baby emunah, small emunah, and lack of belief in divine providence. The translation here is a little off in English. I'm giving you a better translation. He gets caught like a trap. What's the trap? Baby emunah is the trap. Baby emunah is the trap. And lack of belief in Hashem's divine providence. The Gemara in Masechet Brachot has a teachings by the rabbi of Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Eliezer ben Holkinus, or Rabbi Eliezer HaGadol he's also called. Rabbi Eliezer, anytime it says Rabbi Eliezer in the Gemara, it's always him. Unless it says Rabbi Eliezer, that's different. It specifies somebody different. But anytime it says Rabbi Eliezer, no, it's referring to Rabbi Eliezer HaGadol, who is the rabbi of Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva had 24,000 students. The entire oral Torah that we have today comes from Rabbi Akiva. So you just know who his rabbi is, Rabbi Eliezer, how great he was. So Rabbi Eliezer HaGadol says the following, simple teachings that can change a life. He says the following: if you have food today, but you're worried about the food of tomorrow, where you're going to get it, how you're going to afford it, you have been caught by the trap of baby emunah. Little baby emunah, tiny emunah. In reality, no emunah, but baby emunah, because you still, exist. You didn't kill yourself yet. How many people do we know? They have not only food to eat, they have a house to live in. They have kids in their house. They have a wife, they have a husband, they have a job even. But they're worried about how I'm going to afford retirement. Retirement? You're 30 years old. What retirement? What retirement are you talking about? No, I don't know. I have these student loans. I owe $200,000. Who told you to go to university, spend $200,000 anyway for a job you're going to make $40,000 a year? That's already stupid. But anyway, you have the loans. Who cares? You're 30 years old, Habibi. What are you worrying about retirement? Retirement is who knows if you're going to make it. It's like long time. What retirement? You think there's going to be retirement in 40 years from now? What retirement? Who retires? But there are so many people worried about retirement. Worse yet, there are some people, they're not worried about retirement, but they're worried about other things. How I'm going to afford to marry off my kids. I'm just a regular person making barely enough money to eat. I'm going to marry off my kids. Excuse me. Last I checked, you were, how old in your 30s? Yeah. How old are your kids? One is 3 and the other one is just born 3 months ago. You're going to marry her at 4 or at 5 years old? No, she's not Rivka. No, we don't do that here. No, maybe you Sephardic people do that. No, over here, no, we're going to wait a little bit. We're going to let her grow up a little bit. You have it 19, 20, 22, 27, something. No. So wait, so you're worried today, you can't learn Torah today, you can't pray today, you're sweating bullets today because of a problem that you may have in 16 years from now? Yeah. How many of us can't even think about praying because we're worried about a problem 16 years from now. Some people, a different type of worry. Rabbi Ephraim calls it the disease of the house. What is the disease of the house? As long as they don't own a house, they feel like they have a disease. Simply. They're renting a house. They're paying rent every month. Baruch Hashem, they have the money to pay the rent. Money shows up somewhere or another, sometimes from a job, sometimes from inheritance, sometimes they whatever. They have money to pay for rent, but they never feel settled. Why? They don't own the house. They don't own the house, they feel poor. They don't own the house, they feel like they're incomplete. I'll tell you a secret, Rabotai. The overwhelming majority of society does not own a house, especially in the Western world. They're going to say, wait a minute, the statistics show otherwise. They say that a lot of people own a house. No, the banks own the houses and people pay mortgages. Not the people. The people don't own the houses. To own a house means it's fully paid. Most people don't have fully paid houses. In fact, even the people that have a lot of money also have a lot of credit and they owe a lot of banks money. Now you're going to say, yeah, but they can pay off whenever they want. Theoretically speaking, yes, but they're not paying it, and who says they're going to have it when they do? But nonetheless, there's a lot of you that don't have many houses, and in fact, they don't even have a single house they're paying a mortgage on. They're renting, and they feel like they don't have a house. And as long as they don't have a house, they cannot sleep at night. They have to work extra. They have to go do silly things. They have to do all types of ridiculous things in order to get themselves to one day own a house. They'll eat less. They'll sleep less. They'll think less. They'll do less, simply killing themselves to maybe one day own a house. And then finally, when they get enough money to buy a house, which really means to put a down payment on a house that they probably can't afford anyway, they finally put a down payment on a house, assuming that the house will continue to appreciate in value, and therefore they're not going to default on the loan. But nonetheless, it's a interesting predicament that we're in anyway. But people get themselves into houses, but then they also get themselves into a 30-year mortgage. Now, it's nothing wrong with having a 30-year mortgage. What is wrong is that people actually have this belief that unless they have this house that has their name on it, on some title, they can't sleep at night. Unless they have a house that they have a mortgage on, they're incomplete. They're unsuccessful. There is nothing more ridiculous than that. There is nothing more ridiculous than thinking that you need to own a house in order to be deemed successful in any way, shape, or form. In fact, there are many successful people that refuse to buy houses. And there are many people that are not necessarily financially successful, but they're very successful in life and also don't own houses. Success is not determined about whether you own a house or you don't own a house. Quite frankly, it doesn't really make much of a difference. Whether you pay rent or you pay a mortgage, sometimes it's a financial preference. It's a financial preference because when you own a house, you own the responsibilities of that house. If that roof breaks, you have to fix it. If the plumbing breaks, you have to fix it. Or you have to simply sell that bag of chips to somebody else to fix it. But for a lot less price than market value. Unless you're a con man and you sell to people not telling them the problems. But nonetheless, people think that they have to own a house. And they kill themselves over this. There's one guy that Rabbi Ephraim knows. Very tragic story. Where this guy literally killed himself in order to pay the mortgage of his house for 30 years. 30 years he ate less, he slept less, he worked more, he did everything possible just so he could pay the mortgage of this house that he really should have never been in the first place because he couldn't afford it without literally killing himself. Anyway, month after month, year after year, for 30 years, this guy was paying the mortgage with a dream that he would publicize to everyone constantly. One day he's going to pay off this house. One day he's going to pay off this house after 30 years, and then he'll be a success. Well, on the 30-year anniversary of him paying off the house, making that final payment, the kids decided to have a party. Let's have a party. And at the party, everybody's happy. Great. Made the final payment. We finally own this house. But then the kids, since they're young and they care more about how things look than perhaps he does, say, listen, Abba, why don't you think we came up with a great idea? We came up with a great idea as a present for the 30-year anniversary of completing this house. We came up with a great present. We spent some money, and here we go. Here's a plan to remodeling this house. For 30 years, we own it. Let's remodel the house. Make it nicer, up to date. 30 years, long time. Lots of broken walls, lots of, faucets, this, that. Stuff changes over 30 years. A little bit. Especially if you're kids. 30 days even. But nonetheless, 30 years. Let's remodel the house. Well, how much does this plan cost? Big number. Ooh, we don't have the money. We thought about that, Dad. We thought about that, and you know what? Great rates at the bank, the local bank, nice people. They really like us over there. We gave them the information that wanted to give us this big number for only small number. For how long? 30 years. And the poor guy fell for the trap of his kids. They borrowed the money, and shortly after they borrowed the money to fix the house, he died. Never, ever even enjoying owning this house that he paid for the way he thought he was going to enjoy for even a moment. And this, unfortunately, Rabotai, is one of the diseases of the world, one of the plagues of the world in the mentality of people, in the ideology of people. It's something that you can cure yourself with a little bit of Torah. But that's why the Chazon Ish is telling us that if a person is worried about his next door neighbor stealing his money, or as the Rabbi Eliezer says, if he's even worried about his own money of what he's going to have tomorrow, he has money today, but he's already worried about tomorrow. He is suffering about tomorrow. He's also sinning. Sin called baby Emunah. Baby Emunah. That, Rabotai, is a self-destructive sin. Because when you have this baby Emunah, all of a sudden your anxiety goes through the roof. And it doesn't go away. Even if you get the money. The anxiety won't go away because something else will replace it. Some other concern will replace it. And Chazon Ish elaborates and says, for one of the principles of Yirat Shamayim, of the fear of heaven, is to believe that no creature in the world has any power to harm or benefit without Hashem decreeing it. When a person does not understand that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the only one that can decide whether you're going to have food tomorrow or not, whether you're going to have a house or not, whether you're going to have whatever it is that you want or not. He's the only one that can decide that. No one else can take away anything from you unless Hashem decides it. Unless a person understands that completely, he or she will live a very miserable life. A life that has worries as one of the priorities of their day. Has worries as simply a permanent fixture in their life, just like oxygen is, at least while they're alive. Worries are simply always there, never go away. There's never peace of mind. There's never a minute to think straight without some worry bothering you. But not the type of worries you want to worry about, but rather the worries that you have no solution to. Where you're going to be, how you're going to be, and so on and so forth. And a lot of this happens to people, but even more so, to people that blame the world for their problems. People that blame the world for their problems, blame the mortgage company, blame the IRS, blame their friend, blame their colleague, blame their boss, blame their car, blame the police officer, blame the president, blame who they voted for and who they didn't vote for, blame the rabbis, blame Moshe Rabbeinu, blame Hashem. They blame everybody except themselves. Everybody except themselves. People come and say, listen, why is it, if God really wants me to pray, why doesn't he help me get money so I can pray better? Some of the most ridiculous notions in the world, but nonetheless, to them it makes sense. Why? Because they think that Hashem needs their prayer and therefore he should give them whatever they want. They don't realize that he's not giving them what they want so they can pray. They're looking at it the opposite. There's a special mitzvah in the Torah that says that after Hashem gives you all the sustenance and all the good that you want, don't forget him. There's a reason why most of us need a lot of stuff. Why? Hashem doesn't want to give us everything. Specifically because he doesn't want us to forget him. Because had he given us everything, most likely we'd all sin by forgetting him. That's why there's a mitzvah in the Torah that says don't forget him. After he gives you everything. Not before. People that are struggling, generally speaking, not forgetting Hashem. Especially the ones that have the big struggle, like struggling for their life. Suddenly when everyone shows up to the hospice center, everyone's religious. Everyone's religious on their deathbed. Even people like Steve Jobs, who was an atheist his whole life, suddenly became religious before he died. Said he made a mistake for being an atheist. This, Rabotai, is a reality that we can learn from and apply to our lives.